Okay, people, it is your favorite piece of beef back again. I am probably a little late, but the Cow King here to go over the new public test realm updates for patch 3.2. This was a little bit unexpected, but we're gonna go through these here. I'm gonna react to them as I read them. I have not read them. I saw a couple other YouTubers videos posted. I read the video title and I just immediately knew that I had to read over this myself and kind of give my reaction. So here we go. Diablo 2 Resurrected PTR is going to be coming soon. Let's go ahead here. All right, we welcome you to a PTR fresh from the Warlock's Reign. Okay, season 14 PTR. This is going to go live April 14th at 11 a.m. And it's going to last up until April 21st. All right, so I'm guessing these right off the back are the changes here. Immediately, they're all Warlock changes, as we all probably assumed. All right, to help facilitate PTR testing and feedback, the following character templates have been created. Miasma test, flame test, bind demon test, echoing testing. Okay, I'm assuming that these here are the level, obviously not the level of the skill, but maybe the level of the character that you're going to be playing to provide damage testing for the specific ability. That's what I'm assuming here. Each character template has talents chosen for testing, related to specific changes, all waypoints unlocked, shared stash with items granted. All right, and under the Warlock tab here, we got updated Warlock health potion effectiveness from 100 to 150. So that actually got a small buff. Warlocks can now only equip a two-handed weapon in one hand if the other hand is using a Grimoire class item, not a shield. Holy shit. So many people are going to be mad at this. That's like givesies backsies at its finest, but I mean, it is kind of busted, man. You got to be honest. I mean, I hope everybody's got room still for Heart of the Oak in their heart, because that's gonna be your main weapon until you're able to find one of the 3 primeval porno magazines. These grimoires. Ars Duel Mephistos and all that. I mean, because I don't know, there's not many rune words for 2-socketed shields. Yeah, wow. Yeah, there's not actually a lot of variety for 2-socketed shields, so I'm gonna assume that if you're not able to find a godlike roll on a rare grimoire, you're just gonna be using Hodo and Spirit or Dual Spirit for that insane hit recovery until you can find one of those porn mags. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. That's huge. Under Demon Tree, we got Demonic Mastery. Max demon count now requires base skill point investment to increase its value. That is another huge nerf. Okay. Summon Goatman. Attack speed bonuses granted by skill are capped at 50%. Blood Oath. Damage transfer stat capped at 50%. I mean, I still think that's kind of high. What the hell? 50%'s... I mean, that's still kind of high. But whatever. What do I know? That's just my opinion. Because we do have all types of physical damage reduction and other things taken into account before that damage even gets transferred over to your demon. But it's a start, I guess. I think we're going to get to play test it, and obviously that's what this is for. It's a play test. So they will be able to make any adjustments as needed based on feedback and results that find that play support during this testing period. So we got Blood Boil changes here next up. Range updated to have 3 distinct ranges based off of level thresholds. So levels 1 through 4 will grant 2-yard radius, 5 to 9, 3 yards, and 10 plus 4 yards. I believe 4 yards is actually the same range as Blade Shield on the Assassin. That's not that big. Okay, we'll see how that affects the Blood Boil build. I know a lot of people like that one too. Consume. Updated bonuses to provide different values based on game difficulty of the consumed demon when it was bound. You bind dev note here. If you bind a demon in hell difficulty and consume it normally, it will provide the hell difficulty bonus. Okay. So I mean, that's expected, I would say. All right, and we have bind demon changes here. Require base skill point investment to bind demons. 10 for champion, 15 for unique, and 20 for super unique. I agree with that entirely. I don't think something like bind demon should definitely be like a 1-point wonder, especially where it's tanking literally the hardest content that the game has to throw at your face. And the demon's just able to stand there like nothing. Just the aggro magnet. So I agree with that change. Synergy for chance to bind from Deathmark reduced from 1% to 0.5%. Wow, so they're increasing the difficulty that it actually even takes to obtain the demon. So early on, ladder start on a new Warlock, if you want to be hunting down a really powerful demon or a demon that's in quite a bit of a danger zone like Travancore, if you want to go for that cursed council member. Man, why am I spacing on his name? Ismail. That might be a bit more of a challenge if you have low resistances. So, all right, that's crazy. Reduce the benefit missing health grants. It now increases the chance to bind to demon and varies by type. I don't know what they mean by varies by type, but introduce max health cap, which varies by each demon. Okay, I'm assuming that's just, the base monster's original health pool before being bound, and then those bonuses are applied to that from your actual skill tree. Cursed Affix chance to cast amplified damage skill reduced from 5% to reduced to 5% from 75%. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, it's almost like we don't even have cursed anymore. That's crazy. I'm anticipating a lot of people being pissed off at that change specifically right there. 5% chance to cast amplified damage. Mana cost reduced to 9 per second. Removed Conviction Aura, Holy Fire Aura, Holy Lightning Aura, Blessed Aim Aura, and Might Aura from possible pool. What the hell? When these roll, they are now replaced with Fanaticism, Vigor, Thorns, and Concentration. Holy Freeze can still roll on a bound demon. All right. Wow. That, we're going to get some Sour Patch Kids over that right there. Miasma Bolt under the Chaos Tree. Added a delay before the Cloud Missile spawns. Changed Miasma Bolt Cloud Explode value from 0 to 1 to prevent double ticks of damage. Reduced cloud damage by 50% and slightly reduced direct hit missile damage as well. So just overall reductions here. Sigil Lethargy. Remove the damage taken stat. So no... Wow. Another nerf. No more damage increased for monsters under the effect by Lethargy. Ring of Fire. Damage reduced to be more similar to Frost Nova damage. People are going to hate that. Frost Nova sucks. Miasma Chains. Remove casting delay. Added active chain limit of 5. Reduce cloud damage by 50%. Once again, nerfs. Flame Wave, 15% damage reduction. I'm guessing overall, to the overall scaling of it. Huge nerfs to the Chaos Tree. Eldritch. Echoing Strike we have. Reduced damage synergy bonus from 5% to 3%. Eldritch Blast, Life, and Mana Steal made static at 5%. Terror Zones, Heralds, and Sunder Charms. Before we even move on, hold on. Before we even move on to this Terror Zone and this other stuff here, I think this is good in the sense that a lot of this stuff was direct feedback on the overpowered capabilities of the Warlock. In terms of like it having not one bad skill on its roster. For any of the trees that you select, any build you want to go, they're all basically going to be highly effective and viable for players 8 and terror zones, especially. So I do think that this is good, but I think it's also going to be bad in terms of feedback, just general reputational feedback. This is really going to make players feel like they've been given a diamond and it just got replaced with a piece of coal, right in the palm of their hands. But I'm not saying that this is going to, this is not going to cause the Warlock to be a shit class overall. I can definitely say that. His abilities and skills are really strong. They're still going to be able to stand on their own. I think this is just maybe like a baseline of nerfs that they want to introduce, and as players test it and give feedback, they will do some fine tuning and come to some realizations that some of these nerfs were maybe a little bit too much. Some of them maybe a little bit too little. So who knows? That's just my opinion. All right, Terror Zones, Herald, Sunder Charms. Colossal ancient statues can now drop from non-terrorized act bosses. Okay, I like that. That's not bad. I haven't even fought the ancients myself, not one time yet. So that's exciting for me. A little bit more of a accessible opportunity to fight these bosses. The chance to drop Worldstone shards is no longer modified by player count. That's cool. I like that. Heralds now spawn and hunt players immediately upon killing any monster in a terror zone. The chance for a herald to hunt you is increased with each monster killed within the same terrorized zone. Okay, so is it each monster or each champion unique or super unique monster? Or is it just regular monsters now? I was under the impression that before it was champions and uniques that gave you a chance to spawn a herald. Okay. Latent Sunder Charms can now drop from any monster, terrorized or non-terrorized, using Magic Find. That's crazy. That's going to satisfy a lot of people. Let's keep going. The increased chance to drop a Latent Sunder Charm now starts at Heralds of Dread, Tier 2, instead of Tier 4. The increased chance to drop a Latent Sunder Charm from Heralds is no longer heavily modified by player count. Amazing. This is going to be awesome for players that are not involved in super huge communities and mainly, come home after work, grind on Players 1 BattleNet. A lot of players like to play on BattleNet even though they're not on a high player count, just because of the fact that when you find a really good, highly sought after item, just has so much more meaning behind it when you find it on BattleNet, because it does hold a potential value for you to then go and trade it for other items, runes, allow you to acquire a crazy expensive rune word you didn't have the capability of making before. Last Wish, for example, how many goddamn jaw runes are in there? 3, and all the other high runes. But yeah, that's good. I like that. If the increased chance to drop a Latent Sunder Charm from Heralds fails to drop a Latent Sunder Charm, there is an increased chance of dropping something desirable instead, like a charm or amulet. Okay. I don't want the Heralds to be a loot pinata, though. I also don't want that. Like, I don't want treasure goblins in the game. It's basically what I'm trying to say. So I hope that that doesn't turn into, you know, oh, every herald you kill drops unique or green item or something, you know? Like that's kind of crazy too, because we're making it easier to spawn the heralds, increasing drop rates. Now what was once the most desirable item from a herald can now be found from any monster at all. But now also when we're spawning and killing the heralds, they're always going to drop something desirable. I don't know. But like I said, it's a playtest. Developer note: we have heard the feedback that both the spawn rate of heralds and the drop rate of latent Sunder Charms feel too low. We have increased the chances for both to address this, while still keeping the charms rarer than pre-Reign of Warlock drop rates. The intent is for players to have a very high chance of seeing both a Tier 1 and Tier 2 herald in a single terrorized zone, creating an easily attainable chance to drop the charms. We have also introduced latent Sunder Charms to the regular Magic Find based drop pool to remove the restrictive nature of having to find and kill heralds to get these items, these charms. But yeah, basically that's the specific item. All right, man. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about some of this stuff. Some of it's really good. Others, I can see people panicking about their new favorite class. The Sunder Charm changes, I'm not too worried about that. I think people are actually going to be happy with that. I haven't even had the chance of having a Sunder Charm myself, so might make it really exciting for me when I do come across my first one. Okay, we got changes to the Colossal Ancients. Colossal Ancients magic resistance increased from 50 to 75. Look at that. I mean, so we nerfed the ever-loving shiitake mushrooms out of the Warlock, and we're increasing the resistance to one of its main damage sources on the Ancients. So that's going to make it a little bit more challenging for the Warlock on Uber content in this regard. But I mean, people are going to want to overcome these hurdles anyways, bro. I think there's going to be people that want to prove that even with these nerfs, they're still going to be able to come up and theory craft a build that's going to be able to jump that bar. User interface and user experience. Reintroduced bindable move directions. What the hell? No! I don't... Please tell me. Okay. This might come with a crap load of bugs. I mean, I watched Cooley's video on the WASD introduction last time, and he... it's wacky, man. Alright, we'll see. We'll see if they improved upon it. Bug fixes. Akmel the Curse can no longer be bound by Bind Demon skill. I've bound him a couple times before. He's not even all that great. He's just good for a meat sack. Fixed Summon Tainted damage to increased from Blood Boil synergy. Fixed Echoing Strike damage bonuses to be additive and not multiplicative. Fixed Echoing Strike not rolling to hit. Fixed Echoing Strike not incurring durability loss on the weapon. Thank God. I just felt like this is one of the things that made this skill so overpowered. And also the fact that you could use this ability with just a two-hander and a one-hand and shield manner. That's way too overpowered. Crazy. Like, there's people hitting almost 200k damage with Echoing Strike. That's ridiculous. Then you got Deadly Strike, or... well, actually, no, I might be wrong. I don't remember if Deadly Strike works with Echoing. But... I mean, come on. That's still absurd. Where was I? Fix Miasma Bolt so that it no longer double ticks. Fix Miasma Chain Clouds to not exponentially tick. Fix Miasma Chain Clouds to respect next hit delay if they were generated by the same chain. Okay. Fixed Enhanced Entropy so that the Abyss Radius, Miasma Radius, and Miasma Duration increases with bonus skill level for breakpoint increases instead of base skill point. That's probably a good change. Fixed Bind Demon to not roll a bind chance every 2 frames. Now checks to bind on the 24th frame. Fixed Western Worldstone shards dropping more often than other shard types from high-level terrorized monsters. Maybe Maybe it's just my RNG, but I don't know that if I was largely affected by that. I felt like I've always been able to find shards from all the different acts. And it looks like that's it. That's our list of changes, but holy hell. We are going to have some gripes from the player base about some of these changes. I already see that coming. Man, all right. This was my 100% pure organic reaction to these changes. Still kind of a little bit dumbfounded by some of them, but I think it's going to be good, and feedback is going to be able to help balance this out even further. Let me know what you guys think. You're going to be maining Warlock still? You're going to head back to your pally? You're going to head back to your Hamadin, your Hammy Whammykins, your Fist of Heavens, your ES Nova Self-Wheeled Infinity? I don't know, man. I think I'm always the guy that tries to go the alt route. I don't like doing the meta. I don't do the whole lightning arrow on PoE2 type deal, you know? Like I like to play something off the beaten path. That's just how I am. But we'll see what the reaction from the community is about these changes. I'm looking forward to see what they do with the complete nerfs to the dual wield in one hand, or the two-hander in one hand. People are going to be so pissed about that. But let's see. Thank you. Remember to like the video, leave a comment if you have any opinions you want to share, and subscribe if you give a damn. Cow King is out. Moo, 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 moo.